just because Laura Ingraham says cut the military does not mean this is a bad idea. In fact, despite the fact that Laura Ingraham is calling for it, it is a very good idea. Maybe she's not wants to cut it for the same reasons. Who cares?
She doesn't even want to cut it, though. I mean,
Of course
she's
she
saying that now, but it's a good opportunity to seize on it and say, look, we can bipartisanship, it's possible, or whatever the case may be.
Exactly. And look, I understand the impetus to use the military as a leverage, within the context of our politics, because it's so sort of loaded. And, back when we were doing AM talk radio, the Majority Report, we had a Fighting Dems segment where we would promote vets returning from Iraq, who were against the war, running for office. And it was, a powerful sort of like political feature. We had Jim Webb on. That didn't work out so well. There was a couple others who were a little bit better. But play this thing from Joy Reid. This is just wrong. Like, it's just the wrong attitude. Good. Conservatives target the U.S. military over race studies.
Awesome.
This is a twofer, folks. Yeah. You can say that, yes, of course, the military should be studying questions of race and all sorts of questions at their universities. You can say that, and you can say, and let's cut their budget. Play this.
Representative Houlihan, I guess that I'll throw it to you. Are Democrats prepared to go out there and explain to voters that it's Republicans who now want to defund the military? They tried to use defund the police, which is, by the way, DOA as a thing, right? Look at New York City, where they just elected the most pro-cop person to be mayor, or at least they're close to it. That's not a thing. Defund the military is a thing. They're saying it on Fox.
Yeah, and I want to back all the way up.
Pause it for 1 second. Defund the police is a thing.
Yeah.
We have seen budget cuts to police around the country. I think, what is it? In New York? What city is it in New York? Has it gotten rid of the
Rochester. And in Austin, they've done similar projects.
Yeah, I mean, that's absurd.
It's actually way more of a thing than defunding the military. I mean, that's a very narrow view of politics. If just because someone on cable news says it, then that's what makes it a thing.
And there's a lot of reporting to suggest that many people did not know Eric Adams' position on policing, A, and B, that it was a function of the fact he was the only person who was a politician and had an existing infrastructure. Not to mention the win of someone who's a police reformer up in Buffalo, but also a police reformer as the DA in New York. But continue. And look, we should hope that defund the military is a thing on Fox, but of course it's not. But continue with this.
Right. Look at New York City, where they just elected the most pro-cop person to be mayor, or at least they're close to it. That's not a thing. Defund the military is a thing. They're saying it on Fox.
Yeah, and I want to back all the way up because I hadn't seen those tweets that you referred to about the Viet Cong, and I'm literally nauseous. My father fought in Vietnam, my grandfather in Korea. The idea that we can be trolling and not understanding the consequences of this. One of the things that struck me about General Milley's testimony yesterday was a continued reminder that from him that not just the people in that room are listening to the things that we're saying, and not just the people who are watching Fox News or this show are listening. When we're talking about defunding the military, the very thing that allows us to be the people we are, say the things that we're saying, and to be the nation that we are, and the democracy that we are, other people are listening. Our enemies are listening. And I think what's remarkable about the Democratic Party right now is that we get it. We get it certainly much more than the Republican Party does right now. Yeah. And it's an important differentiation and distinction that we need to be making.
This is grotesque.
Yeah.
This is grotesque. I mean, it's grotesque. The idea, like, our enemies are listening, and if we were to in any way cut the military budget, it's conceivable that we wouldn't have double the amount of the entire world's expenditure on the military. I mean, give me a break. This is horrible. This is like very, very bad rhetoric to have out there. Far more dangerous than anything that they're talking about. In fact, we should encourage the conservatives to cut the military. And like Emma said, just say like this is an opportunity for bipartisanship. You know, and now
Well, they love it in every other instance. They're so excited about it. I mean, on cable news and, you know, in terms of the Democratic parties and that representative there, I'm sure, you know, bipartisanship is a part of her rhetoric. What's her name?
Just, I don't know.
Chrissy Hall, I don't know.
So I mean, yeah, but here's an actual opportunity for it, which fits into
It's just
progressive
horrible.
ideology. But
The
you know,
idea to make the Democrats the party of the military. Give me a break. How about both parties become the parties of cutting the military?
it's so reactionary.
Folks, there's more of what you've just saw where that came from. That's if you hit the subscribe and like button. Thank you. Really, thank you.